Yet another episode, Coach Keyton Crawford here on the Crawford Podcasting Network here on May 4th, 2025, day after the Kentucky Derby. Did you watch the Derby yesterday, Kerry? You
I
did. You
did.
did. Yeah,
I
muddy
won
track.
other races, matter of fact.
Yeah. It was muddy there at
Was
Churchill Downs
sloppy.
where all the beautiful
Was
people hang out.
sloppy.
Speaking of beautiful persons, Paulie Stoll, the former East Lansing Trojan, played at LCC, UT's Pan American, and went on and still playing
Still.
professional basketball, people, at 39 freaking years old. I can't freaking believe it, Paulie. Paulie, how do you do it? How do you keep your body so you're playing pro ball in Mexico at 39 years old?
Uh, just hard work, you know. Got to be a little bit crazy, but that's it. Just hard work. It's not easy. It definitely gets harder the older you get, but just hard work.
Yeah, hard work. It's simple.
Hard
Well,
work.
a lot of talent along with that, a lot of drive, a lot of mental toughness. And for people, our listeners out there in the Crawford Podcasting Network, first knew Paulie, when he was in high school, like a junior, and my son Cody, I'd take him to East Lansing football games. He saw his number 4 out there, never leave the field. He was running back punts. He was playing wide receiver, and he was playing DB, doing a pick six. And he goes, I want to be like him. And for football, he did duplicate it. That was his sport. And Cody played. It was Captain East Lansing. Played like Paulie. But Paulie, your basketball exploits that we would go to were unbelievable at East Lansing. I mean, I remember a Waverly game where you scored like 35, 36, and I don't think you stepped inside the 26-foot mark of that gym at Waverly. You remember that game? Well, you probably had tons of games that you had.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I remember. I have a good memory. A lot of games, a lot of battles over the years, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Kerry, I mean, you're a coach at Everett. I mean, you knew what Paulie was all about. You've known Paulie a long time. How would you describe, but without embarrassing the guy right there on the lower screen, describe to me the athleticism of Paulie Stoll?
Like we like to talk about the guys today's day and age. I tell the kids all the time, my new kids, when people ask them how good they are, I tell them you don't have to tell them. Tell them to come ask me. I'll tell them for you.
Yeah.
What we like to say is, if they were a problem, Paulie Stoll was a problem.
Oh, for you, the opposition.
He's a problem. You got to find out. It's one of those things where you got to find out where they at.
Yeah.
They doing? Who are they guarding? Where are they at on the field? Type of thing. Those kind, and you know from when the whistle blows at the beginning of the 12 minutes of the first quarter to the zeros at the end of the fourth quarter. He gonna be standing over there waiting to see what happens next. If it's basketball, 8 minutes, like one of those, like, hey man, can somebody get him off the field or off the court or what? They just always there. And
Yeah.
it's like you don't have a lot of people like that these days because like he said at the beginning, work hard.
Yeah.
The work ethic of a lot of the young people these days is just not like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Paulie, two, 3 more inches taller, he's not going to LCC. He go big time in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because you just can't teach that kind of stuff.
Right.
And that's what he had, and it was like, hey man, look, you going against somebody, you're gonna have to be on your A game, or you're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
And, kudos to him and where his mom raised him. This is how you gotta be.
Yeah. Well, Paul.
Thank you.
Paulie, I mean, I'm going to your basketball games, and Paul Senior be there. Your mom Carmen, your sister Michelle, and your uncle Ron, good friend of mine. And it's like I saw such family support, and then talking to your mom. So you went to Allen Street School, and Carrie will love that. Proud alumnus of Allen Street
All right.
School.
I lived around the corner from them.
Absolutely, still do.
Yeah. So talk to your mom about this basketball rim that they had up there at Allen Street School. It probably bent as hell. And where your house was positioned, she could look out the window and see that you were still there. That you were safe. And
right out the front porch. Yep.
Yep. And at night you'd be out there in the dark and just putting up shots. And then you went to school of choice of East Lansing, which we're thrilled that you played at East Lansing and you were such an outstanding athlete. But, I guess you knew what it took when you were like 9, 10, 11 years old, right? Was that?
I mean, yeah, I was really lucky. Like you said, my mom and my dad, the support system, but like I was able to go to games. I mean, people don't believe it, but like me and my dad would walk into the Michigan State basketball games through the tunnel, like no tickets, no nothing. And then, right there, you'd walk right down in the tunnel because nobody was going to the games. That was the transition from Judd to Tom. And so I literally, like, when I say I grew up in that gym, like I grew up there. The same at LCC, so it's like I saw, like average junior college players, great junior college players, average Division I Big Ten players, and Hall of Fame players. So it's like when you see that, and then the hard work and the practices and the way the coaches get on the guys, I couldn't tell my dad anything. My dad, he's my dad and my trainer. So it's like you have to do it. Like that's it. Like there's not, oh, well, my coach or this or that. So that fell right in line with, he used to take me out to watch Michigan State's football practice. So I'm watching, Nick Saban coach, who now is arguably you guys football.
Yeah.
I mean, one of arguably probably the greatest coach of all time.
He's the best.
Yeah. And the way those guys treated me as a young kid and my dad, and, to be able to grow up in those environments at that age, it just reiterates all the stuff that my dad and my mom were teaching me as far as like work hard. If you got a dream, chase it, go get it. Don't worry about what people say, because everybody was telling me I couldn't do this and couldn't do that. And there was only a few, probably handful of people that actually really, really believed in what I could do and what I wanted to do. But I think seeing that just really just changed my perspective and helped me just get that mentality where like I can compete with anybody. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, you hit on an ingredient, and I'm going to have Kerry comment after I make this statement. And Izzo's all about this. The two-sport athlete, the football player who plays basketball, and unfortunately, right now we're in a specialist society right now where guys that should be playing high school football are just doing a one-sport deal, and for some of them, it's working out. But man, what a missed opportunity for mental and physical toughness and cross training. I mean, and you played for one of the toughest high school coaches, the Hall of Famer Jeff Smith. I mean, those practices, those prepared you, I assume, for mental and physical toughness.
Yeah. I mean, but that's, again, like I said, like I was going down back to the old practice field behind McDonald, behind the baseball field when I was 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. So, it's like you almost get a cheat code and a head start to know like, oh, okay, I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, so in my mind, it was like, oh, I'm going to go play football at East Lansing. Like, and to be like honest, the basketball was terrible when I went there. We started off, I think we won, I don't know, maybe 4 games my sophomore year on varsity. I was kind of in the game, not the game, playing. By my senior year, we won 13, 14 games, and that was in the best conference in the state. The CAC was the best league that year. Grand Ledge, Everett. Grand Ledge, Everett, Waverly. I mean, you had Al Horford, Justin Ingram.
But you had state champion. You had a couple state championships, bracketing those era, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it was better than the PSL in Detroit for those couple years. Yeah, I think every team except for maybe one in the league had at least one Division I player my senior year.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just the football player playing basketball, basketball player playing football. I actually love football more. I was young, so I was 17 when I graduated. So if I would have been in my right grade, I mean, if that would have been my junior year, I
Yeah.
think I would have really, really thrived my senior year in football rather than it
Yeah.
be, I was young because it's in the fall. So then I would have been another year more developed, more weight room. Because when I was small and skinny, I wasn't a big weight room guy. I did what we had to do. But, as you get older and you grow into your body, obviously you get better. So I feel like, I got way faster from high school to junior college. And I think that was the one detriment I had is I wasn't just straight 40 line speed. I was quick.
Yeah.
I could tackle, but just the straight speed, I feel like, me being the 17, that definitely affected me, strength wise.
Yeah. Kerry, so were you coaching at Everett with Marcel at that time when Paulie was playing, or were you at Eastern?
Pretty sure EV at that time.
Yeah.
03, I graduated.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that would have been like you were with G and Campfield. Mike would have been.
Yeah, he was playing quarterback, I believe.
Yeah, he would have been a freshman
Yep.
year.
Yep. I think it was your first year there because I think we played my junior year.
Yeah, I was at Eastern.
Exactly.
Mike was a freshman. Then we went to Everett.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, we got stroked. We were stroked pretty good East Lansing that freshman year. But then at Everett, we're pretty competitive with.
But Kerry, talk about that. What Paulie addressed about that. Those cross-training aspects, those ingredients of being a football player and a basketball player for ones that you've coached at Everett that did the same thing at Paulie.
Oh, it's an absolutely, in my opinion, it's a must because, first of all, in my opinion, you just get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. And if you're just doing the same thing over and over, you get the muscle memory and your body starts to wear down of just using the same muscles over and over again.
Yeah.
By playing the different sports, football is not the same as basketball. It's not the same as baseball. It's not the same as wrestling. It's not the same as lacrosse. I don't really care. Yeah, you want to see your kids all the time, but I want you to be doing something. If you're doing something, I still believe there's time for you to get your weight training in and all that. No one's asking you to go in there and bench the building off the foundation. You still can get your weight training in if it's in a class, 30 minutes, push-ups, sit-ups, that kind of, you can get it in. You just have to, like Paul said, once it comes back down to is working hard. You have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it's also good for the discipline, not to cut you off, because now I'm going from football season, let's say in August, until basically we finish in basketball, tryouts are going or the season's already starting, depending on how far you go, which, I think I missed tryouts every year because we had a good football team. We went to the semifinals.
Yeah.
Then basketball season goes into track, where I wasn't a track runner, but guess what? I'm playing AAU on the weekends, and our football coach, the track coach. So I want to show him that, hey, I'm out here working. So now you go to track season. So literally you have practice every day for the whole school year, basically. And in the summertime, my dad's getting me, or, so you're just every day is disciplined, and you have a plan of, okay, we're going to build muscle. We're going to work on your jump shot. We're going to work on, you catching punts, you covering guys, every season is like, yes, it's every day, every season, every month is a game, a test, for what's coming next.
Yeah, but here's another ingredient we haven't touched besides the cross training, all the physical mechanics, but you're in a pressure situation. So you're in a pressure situation, play for East Lansing, you have to catch a punt in a really dicey scenario right there. That's pressure, that's mental pressure. Well, you can apply that to basketball then, where you're at the free throw line trying to close out a game, right? Isn't there a crossover there that you can reach out to?
For me, yeah, without a doubt. But that's, like I said, it goes back to, one big thing was running the lap at East Lansing. You get off the bus and you run the lap, and there's a couple guys that sprint that thing the whole way, and I wasn't fast, so I was like, hey, you got to win the lap, try to win the lap. So I was trying to win the lap every day. That's, you run at practice in junior college, and, first thing my dad tells me after practice, and I'm 18, 19 years old, hey, did you win the sprints today? And his thing isn't, did you win one sprint? If you ran 10 of them, he wants you to win 10 of them. And I'm like, man, I'm not that fast. And he's like, oh, you're fine. You're fine. So, but now every day is a test. Oh, we play lightning? Did we play 5-on-5? And so everything, he's going to ask me, hey, how did it go? How did it go? And he's doing that since I was 8, 9, 10 years old. So you almost like, oh man, okay. You feel pressure anytime there's a game in practice, anytime there's anything competitive, because it's like you just start getting that competitive drive, and that's kind of where you get the competitiveness, the old school mentality of like, you're just not going to outwork me. And so that's how I feel like it definitely helps.
Yeah. Kerry, as a coach, 33 years, was that difficult? I mean, you don't have Paulie Stolls, filling your whole roster, all 45 of them. I mean, was that difficult to get kids that not motivating and motivate them?
Well, the big saying now, probably for the last 10, 12 years or whatever, but we've been saying it forever, is I'm not going to coach effort.
Yeah.
I got to coach effort. You can't play for me. I need you to be, and I've told my daughters this from day. I'm not asking you to be, Steph Curry. I'm asking you to be the best Kalen or Callie Keyton that you can be.
Yeah.
And you can only do that by working as hard as you can. So my thing always was like, as long as because if you put the time in, we always talk about that at weight training, you can have any program as long as it's not something that's just telling you to bench press every day. Any program you have, if you do it consistently, you're going to have gains.
Yeah.
But you can't show up Monday and then not show up again until Thursday. You have to be consistent. You have to show up. You have to put the time in. And when you could be the best, because a lot of times, and we always talk about too, those percentages of people that go from high school to college, from college to the pro,
shrinks.
it's so small. But there's nothing wrong with being a great high school football player or basketball player. There's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody is meant to go play in college, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. But if you could just do the best you can to be the best that you can be right now and give me everything I'm good with it. And if we win, great. And if we lose, that's fine too. Because as long as you're doing the best you can do,
best version of you.
That's all I can ask of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're willing to do that, like I think I told you, we talked about this. My best seasons were 0-9.
Yeah.
One of my best seasons at Eastern were 2-8. But them kids, they showed up every day. Matt Canfield's senior year, we showed up every day. We ended up beating Sexton the last game of the season. They're number 1 in the state. We beat them because the kids never gave up. They showed up every day. They put the work in, and that's okay. And to watch a young man like Paul Stoll, who, like he said, only a handful, probably count them on one hand.
Yeah,
who believed in him.
Well, yeah, and Paulie, it only took one division team to love you, right? Coming out, UT Pan American. I'm going to talk about that whole thing because I remember you telling me it just takes one to love me, and then I'm on to the next level.
You need one. You just need one person. It's like in life. You got one person that believes in you. You got one person that's really by your side through thick and thin. I mean, Tom, with what you're going through right now, you see who cares about you, and it sucks, obviously, the circumstance. But at that point, basically, I had NAIAs, Division 2s, Division 3s, schools that I just in my mind, I thought I could play Division 1. I'd played against Division 1 guys since I was, 14, 15 years old. So I was like, I can play D1. I can play D1, played 2 years at LCC. And it was kind of the same cycle of schools, different schools in the different conferences, but it was all nothing higher than a D2. And the D2s were kind of like, maybe we'll see, No, it's just the reality. I mean, so I just made a decision and I was like, well, I'm already young because I was 17. I played 10 college games at LCC and I was 17. My birthday's in December.
Wow.
So I just made a decision, my mom, my dad, me, I was like, I think I can play Division 1. So I basically just said, I'm going to sit out this year. I'm going to take a year off basically from playing. I took a couple classes, not full time, so I wouldn't lose the eligibility. And I just worked out every day. I worked at Aim High and I I got on the shooting machine. I was in the weight room. I was running. I was doing everything I could. Any videos, anything is different than nowadays, but I was doing all the workouts. My dad was there with me training every day, all day. I commend him a lot, because to keep instilling confidence when he sees, and my mom also, like, they saw, man, because it's a lonely road out there when you're out there working out every day. And like you said, there's no reward in sight. There's nothing, it's the middle of the blizzard in December. Everybody's in season playing, and you're just like, I got to go to the gym. I got to work out. I got to get better. And it's not easy, So just did that. And then I basically took VHS tapes. My Uncle Ron actually taped the games at LCC. So I took the VHS tapes and I sent them by mail to all the, like, probably, let's say there's 360 colleges.
Yeah.
I probably sent them to the bottom 80 teams, bottom 60 teams.
Okay.
Because Michigan State didn't want me. So I'm going to waste my time with that,
Right.
So, strategically, I went to ESPN in the bottom of all the standings, and I said, okay, these guys were terrible. They're terrible. They're terrible. No. I mean,
they need somebody.
They need something. They got to do something.
Strategic.
Yeah. I mean, what you're doing isn't working. So I went from middle to lower to the pack to the bottoms, and I sent tapes out. And one day I got an email and a call back from an assistant coach at Texas Pan American, and he said, "Man, I love your tape. What's your status? How many years eligibility?" And just kind of wanting to know my story because I was off the radar. And LCC's basketball had a good season that year. The following year. So basically they were like, we want to try to come down and watch you play. They talked to Mike, and then Mike set up an open gym. Mike Ingram set up an open gym at LCC, and we had like everybody come down. Justin Ingram came. I think Courtney Scott, Nate Huffman.
I love it.
Like all the guys that
community effort. Yeah.
Carl Thomas, like all the guys that saw me put in work since I was 8-10 years old. They all showed up for the open gym, and the head coach Tom Schubert came to open gym to watch me play open gym, and I had a great open gym, and he was up there, watched the whole thing, and he just basically was like, "Hey, I promised a couple guys this weekend I was going to look at them. I think it was a Thursday or a Friday night. And he said, but I'll call you Monday. I'm a man of my word. And I told these guys I would watch them before I offered anybody. But he's like, don't sign anywhere. If somebody offers you by the weekend, call me." So I was just like, okay, I don't know what that means. But I've heard coaches say they wanted me before, but then it doesn't pan out.
Right.
And then I think Monday or Tuesday, he called me and he was like, "Yeah, I saw the guys I needed to see. We want to offer you a scholarship. I know you might want to come down on a visit." I said, "I don't need no visit."
We good.
I said, "I don't need a visit." I said, "Send the paperwork."
We
Back
good.
then, I don't know now, but it was letter of intent back then. I said, "Fax it over." So he faxed that thing over and signed it. And I was like, "I don't need any visit. Send the papers."
Yeah.
We coming.
So I mean, basically, if you tell people that story, that's a 1 in a million story, because what if I had a bad day playing the day he came?
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, but I've been getting pressured in tests every day of my life since 8-10 years old, and that's where it's like, oh, he's in here to see me. Oh, I'm gonna put on a show today. That was the mentality.
Well, you had the old, it takes a village to raise a child. I mean, you had your village. You had all your peer group, all those names that you threw out are all legends in Lansing Carl Tom. I mean, my God. I mean, that's crazy.
I love Carl. I mean, Carl, that's my guy, man. Carl used to come practice with us, and he kept me going a little bit when I was in school. I told him this one time, but I don't know if he'll hear this or not, but that's my guy, man, because somebody that did it, he had played in the NBA, he was playing overseas, and he told me, he's like, "Man, just keep working, just keep doing what you're doing, Paulie," and he was one of the guys that he saw how hard I worked and what it meant to me. So he's one of them guys that, I don't know if he realizes how much he meant to me, because he really helped me, just being in there, coming to the gym, coming to the practices every day, like talking to me, trying to keep me going, you know.
Yeah. There's an
Hey,
EV guys there, Kerry.
Hey,
EV.
Paul, if I could just tell you just one thing, right? What you just said, and losing my dad 2 years ago and my mom 10, I would ask you to do this. Call him and let him know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let him know. Because I just watched the video last night. People need to hear, not that they needed to build themselves up or whatever, but when you
Give them their flowers.
Yeah.
exactly give them. And it's not that, like, I don't need nobody to ever tell me how much whatever I did, whatever, because I did it because I wanted to. I did it because my dad did the same thing for me and countless others.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need the pat on the back, so that doesn't do it. But to listen to you say that when I know your story, and when you can say, because I grew up with Carl and Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Played against them when they were at Everett. Played against
Yep.
them Wade All-Car Bears back in the day at Risdale Park back on the south side. You know what I'm saying? So I understand, I know where they come from, but to hear you say that, it just reiterates that, like, somebody poured into you that had no reason to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's because of my dad, probably.
but they believed in you because
Whatever
right.
it took.
was putting in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when you see kids that are willing to do that, like, it makes you, as a coach, it makes you go the extra mile
Exactly.
for those kids, because
Exactly.
like, if I can help them, I'm gonna help. If I can make one
Yeah.
more phone call, if I can send out another email, like, nah, this kid, if somebody called, nah, that's one you can count on right there. Cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I've been lucky because some coaches have done that. You know, the guys that actually know me, and we're if you watch me play and practice, okay, I'm a little bit, crazy, but that comes part of the territory. Being my size, you gotta be a dog, you gotta be a fighter, or you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
But the guys that know me, know my heart, know the grind that you do every day, like, they'll vouch for me, and that aspect of, they, like you say, the game gets tough. Hey, he's going to be right there.
There. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Paulie, I know we're running out of time, and I know you got to get to your workout, but can you tell us, kind of give a synopsis of what this pro basketball life has been for you? And, I mean, my God, you never, hey, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? So you've never worked a day in your life because you're still playing basketball. Kind of, do me a summary of what that experience has been like.
It's been a blessing, the best way I can describe it. I didn't even, ever really, I thought about playing NBA, obviously, but not like overseas and stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, you're talking every country from Mexico, Venezuela, Turkey, Russia, Spain, France, Israel, Puerto Rico. I mean, just the different places, the countries. I was able to play in 2 World Cups. So like just stuff where I'm still playing, so I don't really look back at it yet, because I don't want to get soft and get weak. But in a couple years, I feel like when I'm done and I look back, I'll be like, man, like that was a phenomenal ride. That's one thing actually, like, I think that people don't realize, like you said, as far as giving their flowers, Kerry, is just like, I've played with a lot of people. There's a kid, I played on the national team my first couple of years with the guy. His son is on the national team now, and he's going to be in the draft next year, 2026.
Oh my God.
And he's supposed to be lottery pick. So it's just kind of like, it's kind of exciting, and I kind of take pride in it that I'm able to play at this level, and still do it. Obviously, the teams and the money, people are trying to, oh, he's too old and this and that, like as far as Europe. But I mean, I could play. I think I could realistically play for another 4 or 5 years. I won't, but I think I could, just because my body, I work on it. I'm strong, I'm still quick, I can shoot. I feel like, yeah. So I in my experience, the game slows down for you. You know how to play. You know how to Oh, Kerry needs the ball. Boom, he's scoring. Let's go to him. Oh, but Tom still needs one in between. Kerry scored 3 times in a row. I still got to have Tom playing defense for me to get him a shot. No, I mean it's a psychological game when you're playing point guard. You gotta keep everybody ready.
Keep them involved.
So so honestly, it's a dream come true. It's a blessing that I was able to play this long. So yeah, and I think it was really cool for my family. You know, they all at different times have been able to come watch me play in different places, different countries. So I mean, just a blessing is the best way I could describe it.
Yeah, and you go back. So when you go, you're in town right now, but you go back.
Preseason's supposed to start in June, like late June.
I got you. Wow.
They kind of reversed the seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Paulie, I tell you what, it's been so awesome. We're going to have you on again. Again, this was like 30 minutes. It just flew by like 5 minutes when we all have great guests. And Paulie, you've been a great guest and a great friend and a superb mentor to my son, Cody. And I'll always appreciate that. And so, hey, best of luck to you. I mean, we'll see you. I'll see you personally as we'll carry before you leave. But thanks for being on, Coach Keyton Crawford here in the Crawford Podcasting Network. Have a great workout today and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.
All
Anytime,
right.
just let me know.
All right, we'll do it. Till next time. As Theory always ends it.
Hey, I gotta get him with the Go Trojans today, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Go EL, baby.
Sir.
Let's go EL, baby.
All right. Till next time. See you guys.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.